Beer can chicken, one of my favorites. Something pretty easy to do. I love beer can chicken because it's a nice juicy chicken and it doesn't really take much effort to get it done. As far as flavor, you know, people think that the beer can is going to make the chicken taste like beer. That's not a true statement. Actually, it's just providing moisture to your breast cavity. And so I just got a nice young bird from our regular supermarket. This is probably about like a 3¼ pound bird. What I like to do is take the wings and put it behind its back. So it's like chilling with his hands behind his head. One important thing about the bird, you got to get the guts and stuff out. So you got the little neck and the heart and the gizzards. Get that up out of there because you don't want to cook with that in there. That stuff you could actually use for a nice gravy if you wanted to. I'll also trim a little bit of this fat, this extra cap down here at the bottom, especially if you're cooking on a gas or charcoal grill. You want to get this extra fat because that's what's going to flare up your fire. So now that we got this young bird, as far as beer, right? It could be any liquid. I got this local brew here. It's Orange Blossom Mandarin Wheat. I feel like, you know, orange, chicken, it complements each other. You will get a little bit of orange flavor, you know, to it. If you don't want to use beer, you can use wine. Just get any can. You could put apple juice, you could put a soda can, whatever you want. Again, it's just to add some moisture, and we'll go over that when I put it on the grill. But so going back to this bird, you want to kind of like, you know, have it all rinsed off and ready to go. You want to have some moisture on it. And all I'm going to use, I'm going to take mine Jamaican style today. So I got a Caribbean jerk seasoning, something you could get at your regular store. This is McCormick's, and I'm going to just lightly season. And you could make your own jerk seasoning if you want. Basically, it's thyme, cumin, allspice, a little bit of brown sugar. But what I've noticed is if you're in a pinch for time, the stuff that's on the shelves are real good, and it has a nice balance. Because if you put too much allspice or cumin, you could get a different flavor than what you're looking for. You want a nice even balance of Jamaican spice. And it's not, because we're only putting it on the outside, I will sprinkle some inside the cavity. It's not going to be extremely hot. If you want more heat, you could add some crushed pepper to it. But you just want to kind of get that nice and coated with all of the spice there. And that's it, you know. Sprinkle a little more on. And what's holding the seasoning to the bird is the moisture, right? So you want to make sure you rinse off your bird and it's nice and wet. So what you want to do in that cavity, take that, you want to get these little stands you could get at Walmart, any barbecue supply store. It's just a chicken beer stand to hold your chicken up. And it's pretty simple. Just want to kind of push that down to where your bird is covering the can, and the can is actually in that cavity. As far as the can size, you want to do a 12-ounce can. 16 would bring the can up to the top, and what it's doing, when you have that heat element from underneath, it's starting to warm up that liquid, whatever you have, and then it starts, all that moisture, as it starts evaporating, starts going into the inside meat of that bird. So the moisture is really going out and keeping that meat moist inside. So you don't really have to inject or do anything more to keep, you know, your chicken from drying out, but add that little beer or apple juice or soda, whatever liquid you're going to use, you want to put in there. Again, 12 ounce, 16 would be too high, and you're going to lose all of that vapor that's going to create during its cook. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put this on my Green Mountain smoker here. I got my smoker set at 275 degrees. It takes about 2 to 2.5 hours to get it done. What I like to do is I take my thermal pen and I'll go right here into the breast. The finished temperature for your breast is about 165 to doneness. What I like to do is pull it at about 160 and let it rest to 165 because you're gonna still cook after you pull that bird out. In your thigh meat or your dark meat, it's going to be 180, same scenario, 175. What I like about the beer can, it's going to cook evenly. Just taking a bird and putting it on a grill, backside down, you're gonna get all different temperatures, you know? So you got 2 different temperatures you're trying to cook and get done at the same time. When you lay it down flat, the only way you can really take that, defeat that as well, is if you spatchcock it. And that would just be taking that back out and spreading it butterflied open, and then you could get a nice even cook on that too. But just taking a whole chicken and putting it on whatever cooking element, is not like an oven. You have a hot side of a grill, you have a cold side of a grill or smoker, and you want to make sure everything kind of cooks and cooks evenly. All right, so I'm going to take this bird and put it on my Green Mountain grill. Green Mountain grill is just a small pellet smoker. I have some nice hickory, cherry, some fruit flavor pellets that's in my Green Mountain grill. I feel like anything like mesquite or too much hickory is going to be real potent for something like poultry. You want to use your more potent woods like mesquite and hickory on like beef. Fish, poultry is going to really absorb a lot of smoke, so you don't want to over smoke anything. You want just that nice little hint of smoke, but not overpower it with a bunch of smoke to where it's bitter. But I got a nice coating on that. The smoke is going to go around that bird. It's going to actually heat up that beer can, and it's going to really put some nice good moisture into that breast cavity right there. So we're just going to set that again, smoker's at 275. I'm going to come back and check it in 2 hours and see what temperature we have. So we have it, the smoker at 275. Ooh, look at that bird. It's just making me crazy, this jerk chicken right here. So let's just put this thermometer in the breast. Yes, sitting right at 165, well, 162. And then the thermometer in the thigh is sitting at 170, which is great. So I'm gonna let this beautiful bird rest right there for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let all of those juices kind of go back where they need to go. And then again, this is about the time when your temperature is gonna still cook and is gonna get you to the finished cooking temperature, which your breast needs to be at 165, and then your thigh is gonna be at 180. So we had this bird sitting here for about 10 minutes now, so I feel like the juices is really where it needs to be. You wanna make sure you could get your bird up off of this can, because now it's actually cooked with the can in there, right? Nice, beautiful bird. Let me show you what I'm gonna do with this bird now. I'm actually going to carve this. This is one of my ways that I carve this chicken, turkey, what have you. There's a bone right here, dead center in the breast. Once you find it, you could cut down into it, and now you got that bird split open, right? So what you wanna do is cut that back out. Now that you can see the bones down into that bottom, cut that back out with your nice butcher cleaver. Follow that backbone. Now you got a half a chicken there. Now be careful of your thigh bone. You want to kind of locate it and go right in between the cartilage. And you want to get that nice back out. Nobody wants that piece. So now you got two half chickens. Look at the juices just pouring out of this. Get right underneath the breast and the thigh. Follow that back. And that pretty much almost separates by itself. What I like to do too is I'll cut into the breast, make 2 pieces. But look at this juicy, look at how much moisture came off of that can into that breast meat. So, I mean, it's juice just pouring out of this. Same thing over here. You can come right underneath the thigh and the breast. And here you could just take the thigh and the leg, split that here too. Because what I like to do is I like to serve it into pieces, right? So you got like 6 to 8 people coming by. Everybody gets a nice piece of what they want. Hopefully a lot of people don't want dark meat and they won't be that picky. But I like to just kind of set it up right here on my chopping board. What I also like to do at the end, especially like with jerk, there's a jerk seasoning, but this is a wet one. So you could also kind of get the wet from the jerk seasoning that I did before with a little olive oil, put it in a blender, and you'll get some wet. So what I mean by wet, take a look. See the texture of that? It's nice and wet. So that's basically a paste that it's made from like the jerk seasoning and some oils, right? Maybe a little bit of fruit juices like an orange or something like that. I'm gonna take that and put it in my favorite barbecue sauce. And once I have it all cut, I'm gonna just kind of like dab it all, right? And look at that. It's giving it some nice color. It's also complementing the jerk flavor. And this is ready for people to chow down, you know? And again, this is something you could do in the house, especially, you know, I'm in Arizona, so I don't really want to be out here fighting over a hot grill in 120 degrees. I could just set it, forget it, come out in 2 hours, take it inside, and this is something that you don't have to really do. And it beats flipping burgers and hot dogs out in the heat, right? But look at that. This is really good stuff, you know? Here, look at this bite. The juices, the flavor, the jerk seasoning, the barbecue sauce, it all complements itself. And look at the juices just dripping off of that thigh meat or the drumstick. I'm gonna take off, finish this chicken. Catch me next time.